is good, guys? It is Reed and welcome back to another video. Today we have Give Me a Breakdown episode 9, and this is going to be breaking down the I Blew Their Mind with the Power of Influence video. Now this is a very special performance breakdown. This is a street magic set from a little party gig I did, and what's really unique is that in part 1 of this video you're going to see me break down some of my favorite all-time card effects that I use all the time in my gigs, and you can see how I use them. What's the opener? What's the second phase? How I've strategically placed them, how they work to hooking in my audience and keeping them captivated throughout and continuing to build those great reactions and keeping them entertained. So this is a really unique one. I know you guys will love it. There's a lot of great advice on hecklers, how to deal with language barriers in magic, how to get people intrigued by your magic. It's a really, really great video. We're going to be breaking down 2 of my most favorite card effects that I use in almost every gig. So I can't wait for you guys to see it. As always, if you like these videos, don't forget to like, drop me a comment, share the video, and if you are interested in some private lessons, you can check that out at the link in the description. Without any further ado, let's jump into the video. Alright guys, so this is from a set that I did for a private party gig. Let's jump into this first one here. This is Shuffleboard. This is what I opened with for this set. Absolutely killer. Shuffleboard is a bit of a slow burning effect, so it takes a little bit longer to build up, so that's the one thing you have to consider with a trade-off. But because it does use a little bit of a setup, I do like to open with it, and it's just so powerful.
To help me here. Matt, you want to help? It's right there. No. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Just give this a shuffle. Give it a mix. I need someone to hold on to the prediction, okay? Just keep that tight. Yeah. Don't let me go anywhere near it, all right?
So what I think is always important with shuffleboard is having people shuffle and get involved with this effect, and especially handing out that prediction for someone else to hold on to is super valuable and something that you should take advantage of with shuffleboard. So I handed him that prediction, and that I just did on a post-it note. So basically you can take the post-it note, you fold it in half, fold it inwards bookwise, and then fold that in half again, and you can write all your different layers of reveals there. And it works quite well if you just, have a post-it note or a small piece of paper and you need to access it quickly.
We're gonna make this deck, these cards, really crazy. I want each of you to cut anywhere you want. Just cut a packet. Yeah, anywhere you want. Perfect. Now flip either one face up.
Like just
flip it. One of the packets face up. Yeah.
Whatever?
One of the packets, like this. You want this one or this one? Which one?
Oh, okay.
Anyone, face up. This one, perfect.
So another interesting thing about this performance is a lot of these people that I was with, they're native Spanish speakers. So there was a little bit of confusion with some of the instructions I was giving with, English just not being their first language. So it does come into play several times in this video, and you can see how I deal with that, and it'll be a good thing to learn from. With stuff like this, and shuffleboard in particular, you always want to pay close attention during this stage when things are being flipped and happening, and make sure once the packets start mixing that everything is followed to your instructions. So one thing I like to do is keep the packets always within an arm's reach in case someone is about to mix the wrong packets together or flip the wrong cards, that I can quickly intervene, stop it, and correct it before the trick is ruined.
What we're going to do, we're going to swap. What I want you to do is do that riffle shuffle, because the riffle shuffle is a much better mix than the others, and just mix them together like this, face up and face down. So we're making this really crazy, right? There's no way anyone could know anything about the order of these cards.
So here they do a riffle shuffle, which is pretty important for shuffleboard in terms of helping you keep the order of things and make sure everything's being kept in the right orientation. It is valuable, not a necessity, but it's valuable to have them riffle. So I usually ask like, hey, can anyone do the riffle shuffle? Or I say like, yeah, it doesn't have to be very good, but it is helpful for us. Even here, they had pretty decent riffle shuffles for sure, so it was good. Even if someone doesn't and it's very sloppy, it's okay, but often in that case, I'll spin the packets and make them like all twisted, and then they can just jam them together. I think it's called like the rosebud shuffle or rose shuffle or something. I always forget the name. But that's I might probably do it here in the second phase, because I usually always do, and that's a great option just because then there's no picking up the packets, and that's where the big errors come in with shuffleboard. When you're spectators, pretty much all spectators or all laymen, like they can't shuffle off a table very well. They always need to pick it up and put the packets against their body to get them in the right position to then shuffle them together. And when that happens is when the packets might get flipped, and when they put the deck back down, it might not be the right way, because all this stuff is very important if you know the method shuffleboard. So you want to keep those on the table, so that's why I like the rosebud shuffle, or just really making sure they just tell them, you know, just riffle the corners together lightly. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, and then we'll push them together.
Do it one more time. Flip either one. Yeah, you want that one? Okay.
Yeah.
And swap.
So this part is super important. I have to keep an eye on which packets they flip, because now that the cards are mixed, I can't easily tell. Like, they could flip it and it's still face up or still a face down card, right? So I can't tell. So I have to keep an eye on which ones they flip and make sure I switch those so that it lines up properly.
And now shuffle them, mix them, just riffle, just again, perfect.
So here's a dangerous moment. You see how she picks up the decks and picks up the cards? If she happened to flip the order of one of those packets, it would have ruined the whole trick. So it looks like I don't exactly remember, but it looks like I am paying attention to what she's doing. And if she happened to pick them up wrong, I would probably just interject and say, hold on, wait a second. Before you do that, and I'd grab the packets from her and place them in the correct orientation on the table. Then I'd say, let's actually do something like this, and then I'd spin them and have her shuffle it in a different way and kind of catch her. You know, whereas the lady on the left here, you can see she pretty much kept the packets flush and just kind of flicked the corners together. And if we go back a bit, you'll see how the lady on the right, she kind of picks them up, and there's a chance that she could have put them in the wrong order.
Yeah, you want that one? Okay.
Yeah.
And swap. And now shuffle them, mix them, just riffle, just again, perfect.
Luckily she didn't, though.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, no, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. We're gonna keep going. Watch, watch, watch.
Then again, even when she picks it up to square, there's a very good chance she would have picked it up and placed it back down this way instead of this way. So I'm always really stressing to keep my eyes on those packets and make sure they're in the right way. So now when I take it back, I can flip it the way that it needs to be flipped.
So you guys can see these cards totally mixed.
And I think this is a good technique too. Before you mix up those two packets, there are some tells if you look at the face-up cards as to which orientation is which, right? If you know how you've set it up to end, then you can look in each pile and say, okay, there's no diamonds in these face-up cards, so I know it's maybe part of my setup, as an example. And if you can match both sides where it's no diamonds, and then you can then know they're both facing the same way when you mix them together. So here, if I wasn't sure, I just spread them, and I just quickly, as I'm talking, I glance over the piles before I finally push them together to make sure they're the right way. If they're not, then I just flip one, you know, casually, in like a ribbon turnover kind of thing.
Right, all different directions, all of the cards, right? You see? All right, watch. You can even take it and get more crazy.
So actually, you see exactly what I do here, and I'll walk you through it if we watch it again.
We're gonna keep going. Watch, watch, watch. So you guys can see these.
So at first I spread it, and I'm verifying, for example, and I think the way that I did it, there should be no heart cards face up. So you see there's a 7 of hearts on that left pile, which definitely means there's hearts on that side, and then this other side looks like there are no hearts. It looks to me like there's a lot of black cards there. So and I think that's what you're going to see. So now these packets are actually the wrong way, which I'm verifying, which is good, because if I would have just pushed them together like that, it would have ruined the trick. So now watch, as I show the other side, I only flip one of the packets to now make them in the correct orientation. Watch.
Cards totally mixed up, right? All different directions.
See how I just casually take that right packet? I only flip the right packet, and then I respread them. And now you see there's some hearts in here and some hearts in here on each packet. So now, you know, again, hearts is my key that I'm looking for. And because there's hearts on both of these, I know they're both the right way, and now I can push them together. So I pick it up, and then that's when I kind of mix them together. I also know that since there's hearts in here, and one thing that's important is when I do the final like table wash, or if you do a final spread, depending how you do shuffleboard, the deck still needs to be in the right orientation. It needs to have the right cards face up and the right cards face down. So in this case, I want the heart cards face down. This is the wrong side. So I can mix these together because they're both showing the wrong side, right? So I know that the wrong sides are together and the right sides are together. But the deck's upside down, so I need to make sure I flip it before I do one last final spread. So as you'll see, I now pick up these decks, flip them both, mash them together, and then we do the table wash.
All of the cards, right? You see? All right, watch.
Flip,
you can even take it and get more
push
crazy.
together.
Like this on the table. So there's no way anything could And no way, they made all the decisions. They did all the shuffling. They flipped everything. Do you agree with that? Do you want to get in here, do this a little bit? Sure. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Okay, watch.
And this is another great teaching point. I absolutely love the subtlety. It's something I picked up from Carl Irwin over at the Common Magician about doing a table wash with shuffleboard. One of my favorite aspects of shuffleboard is having this table wash moment. I think it's just so strong and beautiful moment of chaos. Now that I also kind of do this with my triumph as well. But you do have to be careful. I often invite the spectators to do it. And I kind of just show them, I place my hands on it and I mix like this. I'm not like scooping up cards and flipping them. And that's kind of to condition them not to do that. And you see she kind of goes easy at first, the girl on the left, but then the second one jumps in, and that's when you watch me. I instantly jump in to kind of pull it away from her because she was going a bit crazy and I didn't want some of the cards to, even if they fall off the table. If you don't see if it fell off face up or face down, then you don't know which way to put it back. So you don't want to end up there. So the second she starts going crazy, you can see me jump in and pull them away from her and kind of stop it all. Right? It's just about managing the audience and taking control of the situation if we watch this again.
They did all the shuffling. They flipped everything. Do you agree with that? Do you want to get in here, do this a little bit? Sure. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Okay, watch. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. Just unfold the first fold and read what it says to us. Should be.
First fold?
Yeah, what does it say?
There are 23 face-up cards.
23 face-up cards. Let's check this. Watch.
Dude,
Yeah, you count. Go. Do you want to count?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And you can see here, like nothing's happened yet, but you can hear some of the background chatter. They're already saying, no way, no way. Like they said it in Spanish, but they're like, no way, there's no way. It's already building up the effect as this counting happens, which is a beautiful moment.
This can't be, man.
6, 7.
I think one of the reasons they realize that is because of how much I leave that imprint of them having all the choices and mixing up the cards and making it crazy. I don't even have to explain anything or do much recapping for them to understand how impossible this would be.
21, 22, and 23. Whoa, that's the first layer of the prediction.
16 of the face-up cards are black.
14, 15, 16. Is there any more black cards there?
No. What happened here?
They did everything. You saw. We can watch it back. All right, Matt, just lift the top. Just the top section. What does it say?
So with the post-it note method here, I have to be very clear in how he needs to open the page. So you see I'm just instructing him through it and it goes very smooth. And people are really starting to build up that reaction for this final phase.
It says all face-up
Cards.
are diamonds.
No! Not all of them.
Not all of them?
You wrote it before everything.
There's one heart, so I said all will be diamonds.
All face-up cards.
And, there's a heart. Okay. Wait, what is...
So you see there, I kind of try to play into it for a split second. She grabs the card, she's like, we got you, you messed up. And you hear one of the guys say like, I mean, you wrote this all before. That's still pretty good, right? Like they really are buying into it that it's a mistake, which is what you want to do. You want to draw them in for a minute, let them kind of settle. I don't like to do it too long, but just for a second, and then have him read. Like, wait, isn't there one last line of the prediction?
Last section say, Matt? What's the last one?
Except for Jack of Hearts.
He's like, hold on.
Man,
Crazy, right?
How you know?
I did. You guys did it.
No.
Yes.
how you do that?
I didn't touch the card.
Yeah,
He didn't touch.
Maybe he's paying you. I know.
So this is a great moment where you can see like how good this draws in everybody, right? This is the first time these people have ever seen me do magic ever. And they're drawn in by this, right? They're saying, how do you do that? Right? And you see how I'm handling it. I'm kind of laughing it off. And then when people do accuse me of being in on it or them helping me, I just say, look, he didn't even touch the cards. Think about it, right? I'm one of those people who if someone accuses something that's obviously not true, like I'm good kind of not fighting back, but saying like why it doesn't make any sense, because I feel that does help enhance the effect, right? If they're like, oh, you touched the cards. I'm like, actually, no, I didn't touch the cards. Think about it. And one thing that's really nice that I didn't used to do, but, depending on the situation, I do like to do a shuffleboard, is actually just before I'm about to perform, like a couple of minutes before, I'll take out a piece of paper. And I don't need to advertise it to everyone, but just a few people. I said, I just got to write down a prediction real quick. So I actually, in this case, I went off just, they were kind of gathered around, and I just said, give me 1 second, we'll get started. I just have to write a quick prediction. And a couple people came over and they're like, what are you writing? I'm like, don't worry about it. It's just a little prediction here. And they see me actually physically write it down because I was literally prepping the prediction. And then they see me give it to the guy, right? Like at the start of the routine. So like they literally have evidence that like there's nothing trick about that paper. They saw me write it down. Like it's truly a prediction. They saw it happen. It's not like I just pulled out a piece of paper and said, here's a prediction. They saw me actually thinking it through and making the prediction.
All right, should we keep going?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
And see, now I say, should we keep going? I like to do that after my opener, like just to gauge interest, but also prove to myself like these people they're interested now, and it's a good thing to show you guys. Like once you do a good, strong opener, that's why I say just start with a strong opener that's easy for yourself, that you know you won't mess up, and then you have them hooked. You have all that credibility. You see all their faces. Look how attentive they are in this shot. All just focused on me with just that face of wonder and intrigue, right?
All right, this one. Everyone, come grab some cards. We're gonna mix.
Everyone?
Everyone.
So what,
just whatever.
Just one or what?
No, just
How
mix.
many?
So now we're going into straight into unshuffling the colors. So I did have this sort of, and what I normally do when I kind of do like gigs or I'm going to be performing, I have a list and a bit of a set list. So I was ready to go straight into unshuffling the colors. I didn't just think of this off the top, right? So this is a kind of impromptu effect. Deck doesn't need to be in any order or anything like that. So, I invite everyone, right? We have a big group. I let everyone get involved here, and I think that's really fun.
You want to help me on this one?
And see what I pick up here. This guy, if you listen to the last trick, he was saying like, there's no way. He was obviously very into it. He was like, what are you doing here? You must have paid them. Like, he's not heckling, right? That's not like, come on. Like people are way too quickly to jump to hecklers here. Like, yeah, he put the cards behind his back shuffling, but it's all in good fun. He's not heckling me. He's just, I can tell he's into it. That's what he is. He's into it. He's really excited, right? So I immediately pick him for the next effect. I know he's going to give a great reaction. I know he wants to also see something performed on him, and if I continued to neglect him all night, maybe he would turn into a heckler, right? You can actually create hecklers on your own. If there's someone who they want magic to be done for them and you're refusing to show it to them, or they're a bit skeptical and then you're not like disproving that skepticism, they could turn into a heckler. So I immediately just attack him. Like, he's a great guy, but he was very into it. So I knew he'd be a great person to be the lead on this next trick, because his reaction will kind of carry everyone else's reaction and he'll be super into it.
Just call stop whenever you want.
Just stop.
Right there. Look at that card, remember it.
So once again, my absolute favorite peak, everybody's peak, Costa Kimlat idea. Peak's done, all right? The peak is done and I'm off to the races. I get this very clean moment now. Once they all see the card, I'm just gonna hand him the deck right away and it's beautiful. I'll show you that again here so you can kind of see what's going on. I've taught this before. I'll link it in the cards if you want to learn this peak.
Just call stop whenever you want.
Just stop.
Right there. Look at that card, remember it. Everyone see it?
Yeah.
See how I have my head, now you get this beautiful moment. My head's turned away, they really feel like I'm not looking, and that's kind of the psychology behind this peak that really makes it work. And you see how intrigued everyone is. Look at all them watching. They all have their phones out, they're all filming, right? That proves to me that I have them hooked and I can do whatever I want now, right? These are the little things that kind of cue you in as a performer as to how intrigued your audience is, what kind of reactions you're going to be able to manifest, and who you still need to work on, what people are not as intrigued, and these kind of things.
Yeah.
Camera? I won't look. Camera?
Yeah.
Close it in, shuffle again. So there's no way I can know.
Well, you have a microphone here.
Yeah, this just picks up the audio, but
That was funny. See, like it's all like great fun. A lot of jokes. Like at the very beginning when she was shuffling, I made a joke about her shuffling, and now she kind of made a joke back at me. I had the microphone on to pick up the audio, and she's like, "Oh, you have a microphone. Someone must be telling you what to do." Like, it's just all good fun.
I'm gonna try to read you. Okay, I'm gonna try to use. So here's what I'm gonna do.
Don't let him read you.
Here's what I'm gonna try. Yeah, stay straight face, no giveaways, nothing.
I have to see the card.
Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go through them like that.
Now this is a bit of an awkward performing situation, These guys were sitting and it was good, but now they kind of got into it and they stood up. And now I'm sitting, you know, I don't want to block the camera, but also like everyone else is kind of sitting, which was originally good, but now they're standing and it just makes it a really awkward performing environment. So you'll kind of see how I handle it. Like when he was selecting the card, I had stood up. Now I have to go for a cull of basically the whole deck. And so as I do that, you know, if I can't really stand, because the people sitting on the ground are going to see, so I opt to keep it low and do it sitting, but now he's standing looking down at the card, so it is kind of, you know, weird for him, but you know, he could see the card, so it ended up kind of working out, but that's kind of how I opted to handle it. One thing I always like to do with this effect too is, you know, have everyone see the card and then do this part on everyone, because I can kind of break up my cull and show the cards and pause a little bit. With this one, I kind of targeted it directly at him because I wasn't really sure how many other people saw the card, but I do prefer doing it the other way.
Yeah, I don't think it's any of these. No.
No, sí he metido, pero
I know I've limited 26 cards, so I know it's one of 26. That's all I know right now, but I have a backup plan. This is what I do when things go wrong. It's called the unshuffle. Okay, watch. The unshuffle. I mix them like this, and I unshuffle them. Watch. Just like that. I know it didn't look like much, but look, take those. It actually shuffles them into all of the red cards and all of the black cards in one action.
you did that.
Crazy, right?
No.
Now look.
You can see, like, even through some of that effect, some of the people weren't paying attention through the cull phase of it, but once something happens amazing, you know, they're right back in.
I don't know which one of these is your cards, right? Either. Here, hold.
Oh, I forgot, and I just remembered seeing this. There was actually a mistake that happened here. So when I did the unshuffle, essentially his card ended up being the top card on the deck. Like, it happened when he handed me back that shuffled deck, his card was on the very top, which when I'm looking through them face up ends up being the very bottom. So if you know the method to this, as I'm doing part of the cull, and I've done the separation, if you think about it, all the red cards are going to be on the bottom, all the black cards are going to be on the top, and if his card was the bottom black card, then it's the card that actually separates the red and the black cards is his. So without thinking, I looked through the deck to separate at the black-red point to do the unshuffle, and I separated and put his card in the black pile when it should have been in the red pile, because normally it's somewhere in the middle of the red pile. It's not right on the face, you know what I mean? So there was actually a mistake. So normally he would just hold on to that packet from the whole time, but you'll see here, I actually asked for his packet back under the cover of saying something, and his card I quickly transferred into my packet, just like I bring the decks together, like for an instant, transfer his card and then hand him back to it, hoping that he'll forget this moment, and also maybe he did see his card in the packet, so now when later he can actually say, like, no, I saw my card in my packet. So let's watch.
Now look. I don't know which one of these is your cards, right? Either. Here, hold.
So right there, as I was taking it back from him, I noticed his card was right on the top, so I shuffled it quickly to switch its sides, and then I just super quickly transferred. So right now it's on the bottom of my packet, which normally does not happen in this effect, but it's because of that error that, you know, it was just by chance.
One of those for me. Here's what we're gonna do. You have all the blacks.
Yeah.
All the reds. You still know your card. No, I'm thinking it's a black card. I think it's a black card, isn't it? Okay, yeah, don't pretend. Well, I'll be honest. Here's what I'll tell you.
You tell me.
Here's what.
And I like this moment too. I kind of ask him for a bit of info, even though I already know, but to them, and then he kind of denies it, right? He shuts it down, which is great actually, because now it kind of feels like things aren't going very well here. That's already kind of the plot of this effect. Like, you're kind of like, oh, I don't know if this will work, You're hard to read. And so this moment actually is very, very nice, and it kind of helps so that when, you know, that last moment, they're not expecting something to happen, they think I'm so far like behind that when the transposition happens, it's just like, it truly feels real, right? There's no way that that card is already in his packet in their mind, right?
Yeah, watch. Here's what I'll tell you. Yeah, it's fine.
Tough crowd.
No, it's okay. I'll be honest.
You see, she even says tough crowd. So like, they are feeling like things are going wrong. They're feeling like this is difficult. So this last phase is gonna kill them, right?
I don't know what your card is, but watch what I can do. Tell me your card. I won't touch any of the cards anymore. Just say it out loud. What is it?
7 hard black.
Here's another moment where I know his card's the 7 of spades, but you know, it's a language thing. He doesn't know what a spade is in English, so he says 7 hearts black, right? And I knew he meant spade, so you know, no problem. I'll just, you know, tell him what it is, and he'll be like, yeah, that's the one, right? Like, that's just, you know, dealing with these unexpected situations is very simple. Just think on your feet, think logically.
So that's called the spades, okay? Watch. It's in there, right? I take it. You saw it in there. Did you see it in there?
Yeah.
Okay, watch.
See, and now because of that actual error, I can actually confirm that he did see it and ask him, which kind of actually really helped strengthen it in this case.
Do you see it? It's in my hands right now.
No,
No me
fucking
jodas, ¿me
way.
entiendes?
No,
No puede ser. ¿Dónde está? ¿Dónde está? Where? No me jodas.
You are the one.
We got lots more. We can keep going. So you can see how the reactions have just built exponentially throughout this routine so far. Like even with shuffleboard, the reactions were building. Great reaction, but I'd say this one's even better. And you can see how he kind of got to experience the magic, so now he's like really into it, you know, kind of let his guard down and really, you know, gave into it. And the second I did and pretended to put it in their packet, that's when they really kind of, you know, they saw what was going to happen, and they're like, if this happens, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
We haven't even scratched the surface.
What do you mean? I thought that was wow, that's crazy.
It's funny. I'm like, we haven't even scratched the surface. He's like, I thought that was the grand finale, you know? So it's pretty funny, and that just goes to show the power of that effect. All right, guys, I hope you loved that video. Great breakdown. Shuffleboard is one of my favorite openers. Absolutely killer. You can see how absolutely fantastic of an effect it is. Unshuffling the colors, another one of my favorite effects. Impromptu, I love it. I go to it all the time. And you can see how well they work together and what they kind of pull out of my audience, what each effect is good for and how it can be used. And you also got some great tips on dealing with different types of spectators and all that kind of stuff. So I think this is a great video. Stay tuned. Part 2 will be coming soon. If you don't want to miss that video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. In part 2, I'll be breaking down an original effect of mine that I did in this gig called the influence force, and I'll teach you exactly where you can learn it and how you can perform that effect. So stay tuned for that. And if you would like to check out some private lessons, you can at the link below. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.